What's up, fight fans? Big Tone MMA back reunited with Nino Beige. What's up, my man?
Long time, man. Long time. What's going on, sir?
Just a crazy night of fights. I don't think there's ever been. I guarantee there's never been a night where they said and knew 3 times. It just couldn't have happened before.
Nope. I mean, it's an awesome night for fight fans. The UFC lucked up and got it right. They wanted George to win, and he won. You know what I'm saying? They needed George to win, and he did. So I'm excited, man. It was a great card all up and down. I didn't get to see all the fights. I was working always, but. So you tell me, man. Did my man look really bad? Did Masvidal look like he shouldn't have been in there?
I'm gonna have to be honest, and I mean, no, it's not like it didn't look like he didn't belong in there, but at the same time, he also lost all 3 rounds. You know, there was no question about it. If that's where we're kicking off. If you want to kick it off there at the Masvidal Thompson fight, let's just jump into that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless something that, you know, I didn't get to see everything. Did I? What other fights happened before that we need to talk about? I didn't get to see everything.
Nothing really pivotal like the last 3 fights, obviously. But
right.
Just to quickly recap, I mean, James Vick knocks out Joe Duffy.
Yeah.
Definitely once.
James Vick is a bad boy.
Yeah,
He's a bad boy, man. Nobody wants to fight him. So, I mean, hopefully
the problem.
He can get some love now.
Yeah. They got to get him a big name. You know, Joe Duffy is a great fighter, but just not very well known, and he might not even been ranked. I don't know. I'd have to look at the rankings again.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who do you think he gets next?
Anyone in the top. I've anyone in the top 15. Just somebody ranked.
They keep giving him like just out of the ranking or just out of top 10 fighters. You know, and then when he beats a guy, they just fell out of the top 10 or something. So it's like he's not getting credit for getting that W in the rankings, which is crazy because all he does is tap jokers up. You know what I'm saying? Just that long jab, he's giving it to fools. But I mean, he'll get his time. They can't deny him forever. You know.
There was a lot of eyes on this card, so I'm sure that people saw that performance. The other performance, I'll just recap real quick, was the man formerly known as Barachnia, now going as Borachina or whatever.
Yeah, he killed Johnny Hendricks, right? Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah, he's going by Paulo Costa now, and he just straight up murked Hendricks in the second, I believe, but he was tagging him the whole fight, honestly.
Wow.
He was just wailing on him.
Man. Hendricks is tough. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know how you can't make weight at 170, go to 185 and still can't make weight. But that dude, he needs to go be a teacher or something, you know?
He looks like a teacher now.
Yeah, just go teach wrestling, man. That's what you love. You know, you like to pull a home ec. You like to cook. You like to eat. Teach wrestling or home ec. Either one. It'll work out.
But anyway, we're back to the Masvidal Thompson fight. You know, I like I said, I mean, I'm not gonna say that he didn't belong in there with Thompson, but man, Thompson just seriously dominated the fight. I mean, start to finish, Masvidal had like just a couple of moments where he was able to, you know, implement his game, but otherwise Wonder Boy was doing his thing with his weird, you know, movement and kicks and all kinds of angles. He knocked him over at one point with a side kick to the stomach, and it literally like made Masvidal go flying onto his ass.
Oh man, hey, look, I can be honest. Jorge is one of my favorite fighters, man, and I didn't want to get on Twitter and start picking Jorge and being all crazy because I think Wonder Boy is the best fighter at 170 right now. Honestly, do. I think he's the most complete fighter at 170. But, you know, it is what it is. I didn't think Jorge was going to beat him. Honestly, I was rooting for him because that's my dude, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's
Moving
just
on.
the win. Well, just one last thing on that fight, because the win for Thompson, you know, it just really doesn't do anything to make the situation at 170 any more fluid. I mean, he's
Nope.
already been beaten by Woodley or draw or whatever you want to call it. He's had 2 fights with Woodley that were awful. Nobody wants to see it again. So now we're
Nope.
just stuck back in the situation with where do we go?
And remember, we talked about this months ago, man, and I told you, and I think you agreed when I said this, that the reason that they won't do a Woodley Wonderboy fight again isn't because of Wonderboy. But that's why Todd Woodley has the issues he has. And that's why he wants to fight GSP or Michael Bisping, and he's always going to be a champion begging for fights. Always. Because I really don't know why, man, but you shouldn't be a champion begging for other fights. He's asked for, in the last year, he's asked to fight McGregor. He just challenged the winner of this fight. He doesn't want to fight Bobby Whittaker. He completely overlooks that guy talking about the 185 title shot. Like, Ty Woodley is trying to fight everybody that's not at 170.
I think
Unless George comes down.
I think the match with GSP has, you know, that could potentially happen.
It could.
It's definitely on the table.
GSP does him that favor. See what I'm saying?
Because, well, it's not. It's both of them doing each other favors because GSP doesn't want to fight a real 185er and Robert Whittaker. I mean, you saw tonight. He's sitting cage side.
I agree, but you do understand that if regardless of how Todd Woodley wants it to be, if he fights George, he can have the strap. But because George has the strap now, Todd's not the A side.
Yeah, he's not. He wouldn't have been the A side either way, though. I mean,
no, he would have. He would have technically been the A side contractually the way UFC contract set up, right? He would have got the champion's cut, right?
I don't think no. I mean, they don't have to go by that.
They don't. I thought they did, but okay.
So I mean,
all right.
you stuck in that boxing mindset. No, I'm just kidding. where you're stuck in the boxing mindset where things actually make sense.
No, I actually thought that champions got a certain payout based upon, that's why they wear the black and gold. Champions get a certain payout through Reebok and also through UFC contract. Like their contracts change once they get a belt.
Oh, there's
automatically change.
Well, I mean, we could get into it. There's like the Reebok money is different. True.
Mm-hmm.
The pay-per-view points are worked out like individually between everybody. Has different contracts.
Different
yeah, they all have different contracts. And then your base pay could be anywhere. Like we've seen crazy base pays.
Yeah, like Connor's base pay is like $3 million.
Yeah, like they just don't make any sense. They're all over the place.
Right.
It's just how good your manager is and how much pull you got.
I understand. I'm just saying, like when it comes down to them sitting down and talking about it, like if they sit down and Woodley people sit down and George puts his belt down and Ty puts his belt down, now they're equal. You don't have any leverage. You can't dictate terms on anything. Like the UFC don't need you to make this fight. They can let George fight anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Ty Woodley is begging now.
I've been saying like GSP is a legit draw. I think this card will do really good numbers when they finally come out. It takes a while for the numbers to come out nowadays, but I think this card will surprise a lot of people as far as the buys it did, because GSP still has a lot of draw power, and when they say North American pay-per-views, they're counting Canada. Like Canada is not getting UFC on free TV. They have to buy this shit like us poor Americans do. So like,
oh no, you're right. I mean, I definitely see this being over $1 million.
Yeah, so we're I mean, I think it'll be around in that wheelhouse or whatever, and then and now they have like another legit star to actually fuck around with and do with different things with. But I mean, I feel like we've talked about GSP. We haven't talked about the fight that he was in. I know we're jumping around the card quite a bit, but
it's just so much that happened.
The night was crazy, so the podcast is gonna be crazy. You know, it's just fitting.
A little bit.
I mean, he looked like vintage GSP, right?
Yo, he threw a Superman punch in there, stuck him, and landed. I mean, he was throwing spinning body kicks. He was jabbing. He got his takedowns at will. I mean,
that's what surprised me.
Damage. Huh?
That's what surprised me was I think 4 takedowns.
Man, I told you. I said the most guaranteed weapon in MMA still 4 years out is GSP's takedown.
I just thought going against
weapon in MMA.
I just thought going against the guy that had a significant size advantage on him and who has tremendous takedown defense in Michael Bisping would be able to stop them, but it was not enough. GSP wrestling is just fucking on another level. Like, I don't.
Only person I think that may be able to stop his takedowns might be Ty Woodley.
That's the only guy. I mean, and now I'm questioning that because of what we just
saw. Maybe,
this crazy.
Maybe, because Ty's legs are so strong, but GSP's legs are huge too. So it's kind of like it's gonna be drive against drive. And
they got those hockey legs. You ever seen a hockey player's legs?
Yeah, man.
Got those like gnarly thighs, just muscles on top of muscles.
Yo, it's to me the fight was. I think the GSP Bisping fight was a great coup de grace to what came before it. I mean, because the TJ Cody fight, it had its back and forth, even though it was only 2 rounds. It had its back and forth period too.
It was much more. I mean, it was much more back. I feel like GSP dominated. I wouldn't say dominated, but was in control. You know, pretty much from first round on.
It was one point where I almost tweeted GSP. I may have tweeted. I don't remember if I did. But I saw GSP get a second win because he was definitely.
Oh, he was gassing hard.
He was gassed. Yeah, he was gassed up, and it was kind of like right before he got the last takedown. You know, and Vincent popped up. When he got back up, he wasn't tired. He was still moving well, and then he eventually caught him with the hook, and he went into autopilot. Like, I swore those elbows looked like he was trying to kill Matt Serra. You know what I'm saying?
He was definitely an autopilot at that point. That's a good point because, like, I mean, he saw that Bisping was hurt, and that was an insane. I mean, that was an insane counter left hand because, like, I think from watching the replay, Bisping connected at the same time. GSP's ducking down, and his head is like at Bisping's waist, and he manages to land that counter left, and it just totally puts Bisping on its ass.
It's the same punch that Cody tried to hit TJ with, but TJ caught him first. It's the same exact punch. Cody was coming up with the hook, and TJ was just shorter and times better. Caught him inside, and GSP did the same thing. And for anybody that wants to doubt whether or not Freddie Roach made a difference, there you go.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to doubt that.
I in a couple podcasts before this, I had talked about GSP, spending a ton of time, more time with Freddie Roach than with Zahavi out there in TriStar, and just really trying to work on his striking game and boxing, I guess in particular. And it definitely fucking showed because, I mean, it was just lights out tonight. The jab was incredible. But, I mean, enough slobbering over GSP. I mean, we had 2 other crazy title fights.
Woodley, GSP, who you picking?
I don't know. I'm questioning everything.
I'm going to tell you. The one thing I do know about GSP is his fight IQ is off the fucking chart. So if Ty Woodley wants to sit back there and play that dumbass I'll wait till you make a mistake game. I don't know, man. Like, it took him forever to catch Wonderboy. Forever.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. GSP's not going to give you full round. Wait.
I see. I don't, and I feel like I can't say this because I said this about Bisping, but Tyron Woodley is in his prime, unlike Bisping, who is like old as shit and should be, hanging him up pretty soon. But Woodley is in his prime. He's a much more like athletic guy. He's just like a physical specimen, and he relies on that to a certain extent.
Though, what's his output? Have we seen anybody push Ty?
No, because he knows he doesn't have the gas tank to keep up with that. That's the thing. And I think that is. I mean, maybe that's not fight IQ, but that's self-awareness at least. That he knows he can't hang. Like he's not somebody who's going to be able to leave it all out there for 5 straight rounds.
Exactly, and I don't think GSP gives you. He's not going to let you. He's not going to let you sit back on the cage and just wait.
I don't think GSP can go 5 straight rounds either after tonight. I mean, you saw him get the second win.
I think he can in 170.
I don't. I think he has trouble even getting to 170 in the first place.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's move. Let's go to TJ and Cody.
So this was much more of like a back and forth, just fucking slobber knocker, brawl. Because like Cody had him hurt in the first round, and like if they had
at the end of the round,
yeah, if he had like I don't even know 10, 15 more seconds, he might be able to finish TJ in that first.
I mean, TJ was aware. He was moving his head, ducking, doing what he was supposed to do, but who knows? He was still hurt. He was definitely hurt.
He was hurt.
I mean, I think the fight played out a lot like I thought it would. I don't know if you saw my tweet where I said I don't think TJ will let Cody catch him super clean, and he did. He did catch him clean, but he didn't catch him like on the butt like he caught Almeida, or because TJ moves his head a lot. TJ rolls with punches the same way Dominic Cruz did. So when Cody was hitting him, he wasn't catching the whole force of the punch. So Cruz was able to get knocked down, move around, survive, and he eventually lost the decision. I figured TJ would be the same fighter, but TJ is a lot more aggressive, and he's a lot bigger now. I don't know if TJ can get down to 125. Right before the fight started, I said, it looks like TJ can fight at 145 if he wanted to. That's how big TJ looked today.
Yeah.
Did you think he looked bigger?
I did think he looks like he's put on some muscle. What I wasn't expecting was the kicks to be such a huge factor. I mean, he rocked Garbrandt initially was with the head kick.
Yeah.
Before the finish, he got him with this flush head kick that had Cody wobbling like pretty hard on Queer Street.
That was in the first round, right?
I don't know. It was all a blur. I think that might have been the early second, but I'm not sure, honestly. Did they both get knockdowns in the first round? Because if so, then yeah, it was probably the first round. But
I want to say TJ caught Cody first with the head kick, and then at the end of the round, like 450, Cody caught TJ with the hook.
Maybe.
That's what I want to say.
Regardless, Cody, gets caught flush with that left. I mean, it was a left hook. There was another left hook, right?
It was the
right hook, and then he doesn't even know what's going on. I mean, like when they stopped the fight, he was just totally out of it.
he got up and was like, "Fuck you!" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dillashaw was like screaming in his face and
trying to go off on I think it was Bang. He was yelling with, but
yeah, that's who it was. It was Dwayne. No, I pulled up my recap. Okay, so I wrote the recap for this on MMA Today, so I can use this as a reference point. It was the second round where remember the head kick misses Cody. Like he just barely gets out of the way of it.
Yeah, right.
And then he tries to do the kind of like taunting thing that he did to Cruz, but then immediately after that, then he gets caught with the flush head kick, and then that's when he's rocked initially.
So that's the second round.
That is the second round.
Okay.
And then he recovers briefly, and then he gets dropped by that big right hand. And TJ was just pounding on him, dude. Pounding on him.
When he got knocked, I don't know if it was a right or a left. I can't remember now. All I know is that his eyes stayed on TJ and his head went somewhere else. And I thought that was really crazy. Like, TJ hit him and his eyes didn't move off of TJ, but his body went a whole nother direction. Only his eyes died in place. It was real crazy, man, because we saw we saw some dangerous strikers get sat the fuck down tonight. Like, just, we haven't even talked about Rose and Joanna, but
fucking Ronda Rousey 2.0. Here we go again.
I mean, if she don't come back from this, that's exactly what it's gonna be like. And when people laughed at me when I said Ronda Rousey was the most dominant champion ever, they laughed at me. What Ronda Rousey was doing to the people she fought was not what Joanna was doing to the people she fought. Joanna was winning decisions. Ronda Rousey was beating people in 6 seconds, 12 seconds, 13 seconds before before you had time to change the channel, fart, whatever. She was beating people. I don't know what we saw tonight, but if Joanna doesn't come back, she is exactly what you just said. So Ronda Rousey 2.0.
I'm not saying that she won't come back. It's totally possible. She makes that move up to 125 or rematches Rose for the title and wins it back. And saves some of her pride.
She has to rematch Rose. You can't be Joanna champion, lose, and then go fight somebody else.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just throwing shit out there as far as what possible moves she can make. My whole thing, why saying she's Ronda Rousey 2.0 is just her attitude leading up to the fight, the things she was doing, kind of the attitude of the fans. I mean, the attitude of the fans was Joanna is unbeatable. She's untouchable. She's allowed to act like this. Like she has a free pass to mock people's mental health and all kinds of stupid shit. And then she totally overdoes it in the weigh-ins and the lead-in. She's going all crazy, talking about the boogie woman, and just getting really, really cocky, basically. And it gets fucking flatlined. And some people have pointed out, well, she's done this in fights before. I haven't seen it to this point though, like where it was such, Yeah, no,
that's why I said she's. I agree with you 100%, bro. She's Ronda 2.0 if she doesn't come back and get this title, because if your aura got destroyed, like Ronda pretty much got knocked out the first round of that fight with Harley, pretty much. All intents and purposes, she was dead.
Yeah, dead on her feet, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. And Rose took Joanna out in the first round.
She literally took her out in the like that was. I mean, no one was expecting it. I mean, she drops her the first time, and she kind of messes up because she goes to take the back and is looking for a submission. That's her game. I mean, I understand why she did it, but it let Joanna recover and get back to her feet. But then she drops her again, and this time pounds her out, and the ref has no choice but to step in. I mean, Joanna had to tap out the strikes because the ref is just standing there watching her get her head caved in. And like, it was just madness. I mean, no one expected it. I'm not gonna say that I definitely did not predict that. I had Joanna winning, but what I did say to fans leading up to the fight, because people kept talking about her as this unbeatable fighter, and I was pointing out that her, what should have been a loss to Claudia Gadelha back in the day, and pointing out that she's vulnerable. Like, it's not like nobody in the UFC is unbeatable besides Mighty Mouse at 125, because that's like, that's its own crazy little world. He runs that world over there at 125.
Yeah.
But Joanna at 115 is not on Mighty Mouse's level at 125, as we saw tonight. She's not unbeatable.
Oh, and Cyborg at 140 or 145. That's good luck to Holly Holm.
Yeah, right. But I mean, where does the UFC? I mean, you so you're just saying rematch, just rematch it instantly?
You have to.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to. I mean, there's no possible way you put this machine and all this money and all this, like, you spent the last 2 years with this woman as your champion.
When you say rematch this fight, I mean, to me, right in this moment right now, to be honest, it just doesn't sound very interesting. I don't know.
It doesn't matter that it's interesting. It's like you can build a promotion behind the fact that one of the most dominant female fighters in the history of MMA got knocked out in the first round. Whether you believe her or not, she's going to have one.
We saw the most dominant featherweight get knocked out and never get a rematch.
Are we talking Jose Aldo?
Yeah.
Hey, well, that's different.
Oh, it's different.
It's different from the standpoint
that the UFC doesn't play fair.
No, not even that the UFC doesn't play fair. UFC they didn't want Conor and Jose to fight him because they wanted to show Conor was going to win. Like, the 13-second knockout was the best thing that could have happened for them in their plans for Conor McGregor. We ain't gonna get into all that, but they don't have plans for Roe.
They definitely. I would. Now that you mention it, I mean, they definitely don't have plans for her, and an immediate rematch would probably just be the move to make. I mean, what else are they gonna do?
Like, who else you gonna put her in there with? Cause you gonna put Carolina? Then they might have plans for Carolina.
Yeah.
They might have plans for Carolina, so they might put her in there with Carolina and see what happens.
Did you see earlier where Paige Van Zandt tweeted out that she was getting a shot at the 125 belt immediately?
Yeah, man. I mean, they have plans for things.
And
so,
then,
the last thing they want to let Joanna do is go up to 125 and fight for that belt against Paige.
And
Paige is supposed to. This is Paige's division. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
Paige's division. She's gonna get. I mean, she gets finished by pretty much any of the contestants. The top contestants.
I agree, but I'm just trying to tell you, like, when they come out with a 165, that's gonna be Sage Northcutt's division in their mind. That's their plan.
And I mean, I'm watching. I mean, I have Dana White on mute right now in the press conference, so he might be addressing that because I mean, the media. I forget who it was, but someone talked to Dana and he said that wasn't true as far as Paige Van Zandt getting that title shot.
It's true, man.
Side note: why is Dana White sitting with 2 bottles of Kobe Bryant's energy drink in front of him?
Why?
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen Body Armor energy drink.
Well, because Kobe is Kobe Bryant, and he's he's figured out a way to get into the UFC thing.
They got the monster can pushed all the way to the side, and they got the Body Armor out front and center.
Hey, yo, it's happening. Like, because Cody No Love is a Body Armor dude.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Cody's a Body Armor dude. Francis Ngannou is a Body Armor dude.
You're just up on all the endorsement deals. I gotta hit you up about
hey,
that.
Hey man, like just because I don't write as much as I don't write at all. Like,
you don't write at all.
Yeah, man. Like you don't know how hard it is. I work way too much, man.
I feel you. I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah, man. It's but I do think that there's going to be a sea change and some endorsements and things like that in their preparation to figure out who they're going to go with as far as their network TV, deal or partner or whatever you want to call it. they're going to start moving some things around so that it becomes more lucrative for them to use their current endorsements when they get their TV deal. That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to say we're going to have Kobe Bryant involved in the UFC, that's...
Here's a couple of tidbits I just found from the Dana White press conference. He says 217 did well over 1 million pay-per-view buys. He said it broke the Mayweather-McGregor pay-per-view record in Canada. You just said it. You thought it was going to do 1 million, and it did.
I mean, listen. The easiest thing to do is to stand on the shoulders of somebody that came before you. Conor McGregor in this situation came before GSP to a lot of people. But to the fans that were here when GSP was here, you get to see GSP do something and come back after 4 years. So now you got two groups you got the old fans that feel like they know everything. You got the new fans that don't know shit, but they want to watch every UFC card because, you know what I'm saying, Conor has made it their thing to do now. So you got all these people watching this fight, and then you gave Canada a reason to buy in. This shit's gonna be big. If he's able to say it's at 1 million views already, then that's a huge number. Then he's saying it's over 1 million views. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a huge number, bro.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, those Canada pay-per-view numbers count. I mean, it's North America. It's not like Mexico where they watch the fights for free, or England even.
Right.
So it's just a different kind of thing. I mean, what he also said was what he wants next is TJ Dillashaw versus Mighty Mouse. We know he wants that because he's been at war with Mighty Mouse basically, and now that TJ is the champ, it actually makes sense.
Didn't I say this 3-4 months ago?
Was TJ the champ back then?
No, but I said...
No,
listen,
he wasn't.
Listen, didn't I tell you, didn't I say Dana is going to make this fight because it just fucking makes sense. And the only reason that the fight won't get made is because Mighty Mouse doesn't want it. So if they gave us the Ray Borg fight to shut Mighty Mouse the fuck up. That's the only reason they gave him that fight. Now you give TJ a chance to get on. You give TJ a chance to get on stage. He knocks Cody fucking Garbrandt out. Like, Mighty Mouse don't want none of this shit right now, bro.
The thing is, I mean, we just talked about Dillashaw putting on some muscle. He already tried the cut down to 125, and it didn't work. So I feel like a catch weight would be, something that they could work out. But a fight at 125 itself, I don't see happen. But a 130, maybe they do a 130 catch weight, and then there's no belts on the line. It's just a fight.
Mighty Mouse's only shot at beating TJ is if they fight at 125, though. That's the thing. His only shot is if they fight at 125, and maybe TJ gasses out. You know what I'm saying? But
I think Mighty Mouse can grapple with TJ. I just don't know in the striking department. I think he would be in some trouble.
He's not going to be able to move TJ around like he moves everybody else around.
No, definitely not. But once it goes to the ground, which I mean, he's creative enough to find a path to the ground some way or another. Even if he's not, scoring, huge takedowns or anything like that. But I mean, I'm sure you get it to a position where he can grapple with him.
You keep thinking that. I don't see the fight going to the ground.
You think it would just be stand-up war?
I don't think TJ lets Mighty Mouse get the fight to the ground.
Unfortunately,
TJ's a really smart fighter too, bro.
Unfortunately, I think I just don't see this fight. I don't see it getting worked out.
I agree, but Dana's going to make it happen. Like, I don't see it getting worked out initially. I see Mighty Mouse is already talking about Dragon Ball, watching Dragon Ball, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever the new Dragon Ball is he's talking about that shit.
He's super
like,
into his own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you know you just got called out. You know it. You know it, and then you know this dude has a belt. You know you could be making, you could claim you can make history, come up to 135 and fight him, and you could be the second dude to hold 2 belts at one time. You can do that, but he's not. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about Dragon Ball, whatever the fuck.
I mean, I feel like you're being pretty hard on the guy considering he just came off one of the greatest submissions we've ever seen.
No. I'm not being hard on him. What I'm saying is I like to look at the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is he didn't want to fight him 4 months ago.
Because he wasn't the champion. Why would he want to? He said he'd fight Cody. Who you think would win that?
No. Okay, let me ask you a question. If I say I'll fight you right now, does that really mean anything? I'm in D.C. You're in San Diego. I'll fight you right now, though. Right now. Let's fight.
No, I get what you're saying, man. It's just
Cody was hurt.
But it doesn't make sense.
The
TJ fight did not make sense if he does not have the belt. I mean, you were just talking about the power of the belt and, you know, what you can use it for, and now all of a sudden it doesn't mean anything?
No, what I'm saying is, okay, listen. Hey, guy, your opponent's hurt. Your opponent's not going to make weight, most likely. And you know your opponent he has no chance of beating you. I'll come down to your weight and fight you and make your title defense way bigger than it actually. Nobody gives, for real, it was one of the greatest techniques and moves I've ever seen. Yes. Nobody gave a fuck about that fight, though.
I mean, but your point is that he could make it down to 125, which he tried and couldn't. He's put on quite a bit of muscle.
No. What I'm saying is, at that point, maybe TJ could have came down to 125. Maybe.
He was trying.
That
was what was reported, was that he was trying to get down to 125 and he abandoned the weight cut because it was too hard on him.
I thought that he abandoned the weight cut because he wasn't going to get the fight, and there was no point.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure Dana was telling him he was going to get the fight because you know Dana likes to play his little game.
Man, Mighty Mouse. I don't think Mighty Mouse was ever going to give TJ that fight. He wasn't. He went on Ariel Helwani's show and started crying and doing his "Why don't you love me" thing. I mean, like, look, as a black man, I hate the fact that black champions in the UFC act like this. But anyway,
you hate. Is there any African American fighters that you like?
African American
or black, whatever the fuck? Am I allowed to say black?
I mean, hey, listen. Anderson Silva's black. Tom Woodley's black.
No,
I like Tom Woodley.
Anderson Silva. You can't. What?
Anderson Silva's black.
No.
He's in Portuguese.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
He's not black.
That's like saying Jamaicans aren't black.
What? You can't claim Anderson Silva.
I can claim Anderson Silva. He looked like motherfucking. He looked like DMX without the crack problem. So,
I can't believe you just tried to claim Anderson Silva. Oh my god.
I can claim Anderson Silva. I've been claiming Anderson Silva 15 years. You ain't gonna stop me now. Look, I love my African American UFC fighters. Unfortunately, they say a lot of dumb shit. They say a lot of dumb stuff, man.
So I mean, that's all just conjecture. Who knows what's gonna happen with DJ or TJ? I mean, there's honestly plenty of fights at 135 for TJ. Yep. So it's not like he needs to, get that fight versus DJ.
But
it's a different case for DJ at 125. I mean, he's cleaned out the division. There's really nobody for him left to fight there.
That's exactly the problem, brother.
So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what happens there. Dana White also said, as far as what he wants with GSP next, he wants to see him fight Whitaker. We saw him in the stands. They flashed to him like multiple times during the fight and after the fight. GSP showed no signs in the post-fight of wanting to fight him.
Wanting to fight him?
Yeah. I don't think anybody wants to fight this dude.
No. He's the new Jacare. Nobody wants to fight him.
I mean, if things ever come back to balance, I guess, in the UFC, Whitaker will be the champ, and I think he'll have a good little title run at 185
You know what
if
I
given the
love?
chance.
And you know what I love about this situation, Tone? That GSP is a real honorable and honest dude on the surface. From what we know, you know what I'm saying? From what we know, he's a martial artist to his core. So he took a challenge, as he said. He met the challenge. He faced the challenge. He overcame the challenge. But he doesn't want to fight at 185. I can see him giving that belt to Whitaker. I can see him just relinquishing the belt, and Whitaker's the full champ. A lot like what happened with Jose Aldo.
Yeah. I mean, they have to do something. I mean, if GSP's not going to defend, they need to make the right call. I feel like GSP would do the right thing. I mean, maybe I have too much faith in him, but with him, he's showing us other than that. What has he? Like, he left the sport because he felt like other people were cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like, he conveniently left the sport right when they started testing. Yes, he did.
So,
I mean,
you know,
I think you're right. I think you're right though, because in the post fight interview, he also said, you know, I can't remember the quote, but the gist of it was, you know, I'm gonna figure things out, like what I want to do, and then we'll go from there. You know, like my path isn't set at 185 or something like that, you know, where he might go down to 170. So I feel like he would do the right thing, you know, if he's not going to stay at 185, give the belt up, you know, let Whitaker have a shot, and move down to 170.
I bet you Tyrone Woodley not going to take no fight before he finds out what GSP going to do. He gonna run up to 185 and GSP stay up there.
I don't think Woodley has to run up to 185. I think Woodley's fine. You know, he probably walks around. I think he walks around at 190, 200. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like, he'll go to 185. It's funny, Woodley type. Two slow dudes with no power. I'll be either one of you guys, and then GSP knocks this thing out.
That's funny. Well, I mean, it would definitely be an intriguing matchup. I would be interested in it. I know a lot of people just don't like Woodley, and don't want to see him fight. But GSP, if you put GSP on the other side of the coin, it's gonna shift. It's gonna shift the numbers, and it's gonna give him a nice little pay-per-view bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But man, I love doing the podcast with you. I'll shut it down. It's 2 o'clock on this side.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Appreciate you, brother. Always, man. We gotta do it again.
For sure. Yeah, great to speak to you again. Talking some MMA, and what a card to do it on, man. This was crazy night. Just a crazy night.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Oh, much love to you, brother. Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.